What if I were to tell you that one of the most powerful civilizations in human history never truly disappeared?
For thousands of years, the world knew this land by one name, Persia. A civilization of legendary kings, of monumental cities, and a culture so unbelievably rich, its influence stretched clear across continents.
You see, Persia wasn't just another kingdom. No. At its absolute height, it was the most powerful empire the world had ever seen. And yet, in the 20th century, something truly extraordinary happened.
Almost overnight, it felt like the name Persia just vanished from the world's maps. And the big question is, why?
Okay, so let's start with this mystery, a vanishing name. We're going to dig into why Persia disappeared from the map, and really, why a civilization would just abandon a name that had defined it for centuries. So, was this just about modernization? You know, a simple political strategy? Or was there something much, much deeper going on? Well, to find the answer, we have to go back, way back. All right, let's dive into the ancient origins. Our story really kicks off thousands of years ago on what we call the Iranian Plateau. Think of it as this huge crossroads of civilizations, cultures, and brand new ideas. So, around the second millennium BC, you've got these nomadic peoples migrating into the region. These were the Indo-Iranians, and they spoke early Indo-European languages. And what's so cool is you can still see the linguistic connection today. I mean, the word for mother was madar, for father, pedar. You can hear those echoes in modern Persian, right? And it really shows how distinct it is from, say, Arabic. But here's the thing. They weren't one unified people, not at all. Two main groups ended up becoming dominant. You had the organized and really powerful Medes up in the northwest, and then you had the Persians. They settled further south in a region called Pars. Now, at first, the Persians, well, they seemed pretty insignificant. But, as we know, history had other plans. And that brings us to the first superpower. This is truly the story of an unlikely rise to power, and it's all shaped by one extraordinary man, Cyrus. Through just sheer strategic brilliance, he overthrew the powerful Medes and managed to unite the two peoples under his rule. And with that incredible victory, Cyrus didn't just build another kingdom. No, he created something totally new, the Achaemenid Empire. See, unlike other conquerors of his time, Cyrus understood that ruling a diverse population needed more than just brute force. He knew he needed their respect. And this policy, this idea of cultural respect, it became a defining feature of their entire rule. The Persian Empire just exploded in size, stretching all the way from modern-day Pakistan to the Mediterranean Sea. I mean, think about that. It was, without a doubt, the largest empire the world had ever seen, uniting countless different cultures under one single system. So the question is, how on earth did they manage it all? Well, the answer is innovation, pure and simple. They built these incredible, extensive road networks, an advanced postal service. They even had standardized systems of taxation and governance. It's really no wonder that historians call it the world's first true superpower. But, as history always shows us, even the greatest empires have to face challenges. And for Persia, that challenge was coming from the West. It was led by a young, ambitious king from Macedonia who was about to change the ancient world forever. His name was Alexander. Of course, today we know him as Alexander the Great. In a string of decisive, brutal battles, Granicus, Isius, Gaugamela, Alexander's forces just shattered the Persian armies. And like that, the Achaemenid Empire collapsed. But then something surprising happened. Alexander didn't try to erase Persian civilization, he actually embraced it. He started wearing their clothing, he married into their royalty, he kept their officials in his administration. He just got it. He understood a profound truth. To rule Persia, you had to become part of it. And even after he died, this cultural fusion kept going, with new dynasties like the Parthians and the Sasanians eventually reviving Persian power. But then, in the 7th century, a powerful new force swept out of the Arabian Peninsula, Islam. Arab armies defeated the Sasanian Empire, and the Persian lands were brought into the Islamic world. And this brought about profound, lasting change. Arabic became the language of power, and over time, Islam gradually replaced the ancient religion of Zoroastrianism. So this brings us to what I like to call the enduring spirit. Because you might think, okay, this is it. This has to be the end of Persian culture. But it wasn't, not even close. Instead, it adapted.
I mean, through invasions by Turkic dynasties, Mongol armies, the absolute core of the Persian identity just persisted. It showed this incredible resilience.
In fact, Persian scholars and poets became central figures in the Islamic Golden Age. The language itself absorbed Arabic words, sure, but it kept its own unique structure. Then, fast forward to the 16th century. The Safavid dynasty comes to power and makes a specific branch of Shi'a Islam the state religion. This was huge. It created a really clear distinction from their Sunni neighbors, and it helped forge what we'd now call a unique Iranian identity.
And what's so fascinating is that this created a kind of dual identity. Internally, the people called their homeland Iran, which is this ancient term meaning land of the Aryans. But to the outside world, to everyone else, it was still known as Persia. So for centuries, this one land had two different names.
And it stayed that way, until one day, in the 20th century, a monarch decided it was time for a change. The year was 1935, and Reza Shah Pahlavi sent out a diplomatic request to governments all around the world.
The request was really simple. From this point forward, the official international name would be Iran. Now, this was all part of a bigger push to modernize the nation, but wow, did it spark a fierce debate. I mean, was this a necessary step towards the future, or was it a total rejection of a glorious past?
So today, the name Iran is what we see in global headlines. And yet, the name Persia still carries this incredibly powerful cultural resonance, doesn't it? It evokes poetry, philosophy, and one of the most remarkable civilizations the world has ever known. A civilization that has managed to survive invasions, revolutions, and just centuries of constant transformation.
So maybe the truth is simpler than we think. Perhaps Persia never truly disappeared. It just learned how to survive.